Welcome back to Kamen Rider Review, episode number 37. This is discussing episodes 27, 28, and 5 Riders versus King Dark movie. Let's start with the order I watched them. First up is 27. 27 is essentially put a clip show. It's also basically celebrating the fact that we've had 5 Kamen Riders at this point, so why not do a sort of recap? Now, most of the stuff that you have you have the episode start off with, you have Jin arriving at the coffee shop. Like, wait, why are your clothes today? Well, there's a Kamen Rider crosstalk. Okay, so they get there, and for some reason, I'm not sure why this is, the guy's basically showing various different monsters who were Shaka monsters and doing hilarious fashion. And of course, the brother's like, nah, you're basically full bull crap. So he's like, he'll do the real talk. So basically, he discusses about the first 3 Kamen Riders in okay detail per se. Not much for the 4th Kamen Rider, a Rider Man. Yeah, he doesn't talk about very much. He's talking about he's a revenge against Destron. Now, they do show in here now, unless you missed the finale for Kamen Rider, they do show the first 2 Kamen Riders confronting the great leader Shocker. They do not show V3 confronting the leader of Destron. Yeah, I'm not really sure why they don't show that. It's like V3 stuff is like barely glossed over. Yeah, that's something though that V3 is like, for his stuff, it's not much there. Like, they do show him when he takes on Dr. G, Baron Tusk. For some reason, Archbishop Wing is not mentioned here. Probably because he was all around for about 5 episodes before he got killed off. Yeah, that's the strange thing about it. It's like, yeah, he was on for 5 episodes and that was it. He does mention about the revival of the Shocker commanders in V3. Now, they also don't bring up much about the final general, Marshall Armour, who popped up during the final episodes of V3. X didn't talk about it very much. Like, oh yeah, we're going to show up X and the guy who he knocked over, like, oh yeah, and then we have X go into the dressing room and find the real guy. And by the way, who's the guy on stage? Why, it's Neptune, the first monster that Kamen Rider spot in the series. But before this happens, like toward the end of the conversation, we see this guy wearing sunglasses show up. Who is he, might ask? It's V3 himself, making his first appearance in the series, in the franchise at this point, at the end of his series. And he goes, oh, it's Shiro! And of course, Neptune's not the only one here. We also see a return of Medusa, and there was like one other monster that did pop up here as well. Yep, like it was like 3 of the original monsters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Neptune, which this was actually his second to last appearance in the franchise, along with Medusa, and there was one other one. It was, because I remember there was 3. Wasn't that one? No. It was Neptune, Medusa, and Chimera. Yeah, they brought these people back for reasons I don't really know why. They don't revive Holy Gus, probably because basically they can't exactly revive him. And probably also because the actor's not available. So they fight them, and of course they easily beat them. And beat them by kicking them, put all 3 in the pile, they'll explode. Yeah, and of course, well, I like the fact that Jin does know about who Shiro is, due to the fact that Tabisha is told by him. And then basically they ride off, and this leads into 5 Riders versus the Dark. We have King Dark himself basically planning this master plan. We see this thing under cloth. We don't see what it is until later on in the movie. And then we see here this kid who wakes up in his bunk bed, hears these strange noises, and he figures, oh, that's G.O.D. Like, Mom, Dad, come here, G.O.D. is doing something. Like, you must be joking. Like, no, I gotta find X Rider. So he goes outside, like, I gotta figure where he is. And then just by sheer coincidence, Kamen Rider number 1 shows up. Yes. And then, like, immediately after that, we have it's where you have this guy with a dog who's talking to Ulysses, and the kid knows exactly who this monster is. Probably either this kid has probably seen this monster before or something else. And then Kamen Rider 2 shows up. Yep. And then we see this kid by the shoreline who's just using his boat. And then all of a sudden, Neptune. It was like Neptune and a couple other monsters show up, and they're about to kill the kid because they dare see them. Yeah, this is something that early on the monsters of the series do, where they kill random people just for seeing them. And then Rider Man shows up. Yes, Rider Man, who for some reason has got his attachment on the wrong arm for some reason. Yeah, this I thought was quite dumb on the part of the people who did production this movie. Like, did they forget his right arm was lost, not his left arm? Not sure why, but oh yeah, he's referred to as Kamen Rider 4. Yeah, he first was Kamen Rider 4, and Rider Man. Yes. Now here's the thing. In the movie, clearly some of these monsters do know who this guy is, but not in the case of what happens in the series. Now, of course, Shiro himself, that show a little bit later. So, and then we have it where 4 monsters. We have, and when it comes to conference show, I'm like, I was like, ooh, cool breeze, like shiver, and then lights go, and then 4 monsters just come to the restaurant. I'm like, we'd like to order something. Like, okay, what would you like to order? We would like the gin special, and you're like, we don't serve that. And then here comes Kamen Rider X, and he's like, and it's about like, wait. Don't do anything flashy. Repairs are getting expensive. So he takes it outside, fights these 4 guys, and of course you have the other Kamen Riders show up, basically team up with him. And they have all 5 of them hop on their motorcycle and they ride to where King Dark is. And of course we have these kids get attacked. Well, the monster will likely be saved by V3. And of course, details the plan where they plan to damage Tokyo's water supply. They want to destroy it. So they create a team with each other. Of course, they race off. 5 riders. So awesome to see this. In the row. Now, in the middle, dead center is Kamen Rider X because he's the start of the series. Now, I think the order, if I remember correctly, it was Kamen Rider 1 on the far left. Next to X is V3. Next on his left is Kamen Rider 2. And the last one is Rider Man. Interesting lineup this one was. Yes. And then, of course, they arrive at the location. But it's like, wait, let me handle this. So he can take up some of the monsters. By the way, the monster of the cloth is revealed to be the Bat Frankenstein monster. You're thinking, a bat-like monster? Yeah, this is a ripoff of the monster Batman. Yeah, that's... I did recently find this out, though, and this is definitely true. The first 2 monsters of Kamen Rider are heavily inspired by future monsters. They lay the groundwork for a lot of future rip-offs of these monsters. So, then they have... surrounded, and all of a sudden the Air Force Kamen Rider show up, and then all the Transformers are using their classic sequences from the show. And then, of course, they have a massive brawl. We had the 5 Kamen Riders take on the monsters, where during the fight, they actually play... In the fight sequence, they play the original Kamen Rider theme song, which, if you watch shows since the first series, this is probably the first time it's been heard since the original one. Probably at this point, probably the first time in about, I'd say about a couple years, I'd say. I think the last time officially was... Let's see, how long ago was the... Let's see. So I think this is probably the first time in probably about 2 years. Yeah, I definitely say so. Yes, I'd say first time in just 2 years they've actually heard this song, and it's great to hear it. Over the awesome fight scene, because they have more fighting in the ground. Eventually, all monsters destroyed, and eventually it's all down the Frankenpat, where all the Riders take turns kicking him like crazy. And then when the creature is defeated, of course, you have in the background this blimp where all the girls go. Now, during the movie also, We see that various people are kidnapped for their blood to power up, well, Bat Frankie. And then, of course, the girls are freed by Tesh Tabata. And, of course, they ride off in the blimp. And the riders all ride the motorcycles away. Great movie. Loved it. I loved every single... Oh, by the way, they do have it where Rex does confront King Dark. X goes, nope, I'm not actually here. This is my shadow. Bye-bye. I have a theory of why they did this. It's just to tease something you might see in the finale for this thing. Possibly, yes. But moving on to episode 28. What the monstrous one is... Excuse me, get this. You can lay this monster. Spider Napoleon! Yes, a monster who... You look at him, yeah, he's a ripoff of Man Spider. I am not kidding. He's a little ripoff of this character. Yeah, his thing... Of course, at this point, they're actually back to the whole plot of basically pieces of the blueprints, the Ares project. So... This kid, he basically kills very people trying to find out where this thing is, and eventually happen to find the place. Like, oh, this kid says, "I've got it." It's like, no, you got it. And of course, then then Kamen Rider X shows up, fights off. Of course, he gets away. Though he does find him later in the episode, he gets injured. He gets his energy drained. The kid himself is taken captive by, of course, the monster. Yeah, so. Then when we have V3, you have X being drained of his energy, like just when he's about to get murdered by the monster, who by the way gets help from Mech Antilles in his basically his third revival. Yeah, at this point, they revived him 3 times at this point. First time was 21, then they revived him in the movie, and now they revived him here. And he's not the only one they brought back here. Oh no. They also brought back, aside from Mechantilles, they also brought Salamander Gong, who was the final monster before they decided to redesign the monsters. Yeah, and here's a strange little fun factoid about episode 28. It is the last time you ever see an episode where they have revived monsters, because after 28, there are still only 7 episodes left to go for the entire series before it wraps, so they can't do any more of these, oh, let's just revive dead monsters thing. Oh yeah, by the way, it seems like though in the movie, they pretty much revive almost every one of the original monsters. Yes, of the original about 20-ish monsters per se. The other ones they did not bring back movie. They did not bring back Occultes, who appeared in 1 episode, and Salamander Gong. Those 2 were not brought back here. And strange enough, none of the current monsters, all based on historical figures. Yeah, none of them come back in the movie. Which, I get kind of the reason for it, because they were just seen, so they probably want to use the movie. But the other ones, not much issue there. So, V3 shows up, holds them off, and it basically comes with a new idea to give Kamen Rider X new energy. This Memory Mercury is what the circuit's called. Apparently it's from him, per se. So he does an operation. First, has a blood transfusion. And he opens up X's chest to put the device in. And then immediately afterwards, goes to fight Napoleon Spider. Then, of course, basically we have X shows up to help save the day. And, of course, defeat the monsters. And V3 goes off and he's not sitting in to episode 33. Yeah, that's roughly about 5 episodes of this one. So not very long of a wait. Unlike it. Now, the way this episode ended was kind of weird. It's he got saved and then he's not mentioned again. Yeah, we get more interesting stuff happen in the very next episode. But I gotta say, the episodes are good. Love the movie. And, well, tomorrow I'll probably be capping out the series. Now, you're probably thinking, why did I stop at 28? I really also could do 29 as well. But due to time, I just want to get this done so I can do those 2 anime, which are The Great Job When We Defeated and Case Closed. I'm going to try to get those done tonight. If not, I think if I can get them one of them. If I can't get them both, I'll do probably Case Closed probably tomorrow with my 4 anime. Which, by the way, there's no new manga coming tomorrow. I did check. So, There will not be any reviews tomorrow for My Hero Academia or Black Clover because no new chapter released tomorrow. It's going to be reviewed on Monday. Yep, but yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for Single Review. Next one's going to be The Great Zhao Will Not Be Defeated. Okay, next video. Bye.